Okay, I'll stop buying plastic bags. This story isn't quite the scale of some of the stories, but thought I'd share one of my experiences. I used to work for a small company, and due to the bus times, I'd arrive at work 45 minutes early every day. I was nearly always first in, so would be the one opening up the office and getting things set up. For context, my boss was pretty tight, so this would even include switching on the fridge after a weekend. One of the tasks I took it upon myself to do was to buy the milk for the office, in my 45 minutes unpaid time. The shop was about a 20-minute round trip, and I always got enough to last the week. In the UK, we pay for plastic bags, so I always tried to have a couple spare in my work bag. However, sometimes I just forgot, so would buy one from the shop. While I was allowed to expense the milk, sometimes I would forget, or lose the receipt, etc., so then the company would be getting free milk. One day, I submitted my expense claim and left the receipt on the finance manager's, i.e. boss wife, desk and went for a meeting. Usually when this happened, I would come back to a couple of quid to cover the milk. This time, however, I came back to the money and a note asking me could I stop expensing the company for 5p plastic bags, as it's inefficient and a waste of company resource. So I did. In the 12 months I continued to work for them, I never bought milk again for the office and stopped doing any chores in the opening up of the office, other than switch off the security alarms. I'd instead use that 45 minutes to eat breakfast or even just sleep. For the sake of 5p every couple of weeks, the company lost someone doing office chores for free, started paying for all their milk, plus had the inconvenience of running out of milk during the day with someone having to use work, i.e. paid time to buy more, which was even more awkward when we had clients in. Penny wise, pound foolish. When you are the one buying milk very regularly, I would expect the company to make an effort if you lose the ticket once in a while. If the process is just too complex, strict, as a manager I would do effort in a different way to compensate this loss. Especially if the person is buying things outside the work time. While I do take some satisfaction on the company getting screwed over, thanks to their own idiocy, I'm more so shocked that you were willing to spend 40-45 minutes a day working unpaid in the first place, along with not always expensing the milk. The fridge thing is crazy. And maybe even more expensive. Your entire office runs on milk. Oh, and for the sake of our anti-work, please never ever give unpaid time to a company again. They profit from it, they ought to pay for it. Just 15 minutes per day adds up to almost full work day per year. Would you really give away a whole week of PTO every year? Or even 3 in your case? My father worked for a purple delivery company as a driver after they bought out the airline he worked for. One day his truck was running out of gas, so he put $20 in midday and filled out the form to be reimbursed at the end of the day. It took them around 3 months to give him back the money, so on the rare occasions when they didn't leave him enough gas, he would just pull over near a park, grab a coffee and call in to have them come out and fill it up. Instead of arguing about policies, he would just say sorry he didn't have any available cash or cards on him, and if they wanted he could try to head back and see how far he gets. So, what was their response when you stopped doing this? Hey, never work for free. Your time is valuable and you should be compensated for it. It also can cause issues if you're injured while working off the clock. You weren't working, so therefore it isn't a work-related injury. Source: I'm small business owner. I don't like my employees to not get paid. Obviously the finance manager did not realize the true cost of the 5p. My red flag moment was when you had to plug the fridge back in on Mondays. I mean, wouldn't it have been more effective to have a sturdy plastic or market bag in the office? The company lost someone doing office chores for free. I stopped devaluing myself by working for free. FTFY. Today I learned that not having milk when clients come over is awkward. Must be a British thing. Why are so many of these stories people working for free? PSA, if they aren't paying you, don't work. They are, generally, a for-profit business, and don't need you to donate your time. Did they, co-workers, ever ask why you stopped doing extra things for the office? I remember when a former boss told us to expense milk for the office. Grabbed me this time to go and get some for the day because they had clients in. I asked for some cash to buy it, but he told me to expense it. I don't expense for this firm, boss, and you already know that, and I just walked away. Companies are just fucking stupid. Literally every company does this. They will cheap out and then end up having to pay more. Never work for free, you are worth more than that. Can we talk about the fact that you turn the fridge off on the weekends? I'm pretty sure that less energy would be used keeping it on during the weekends than to turn it off and have it warm up and then turn it back on. Is there food in there? Want to see if the freezer gets too warm? Put a cup of frozen water in the freezer, and put a coin on the surface of the ice. This works for power outages too, so you can tell if the power was out too long, food got too warm. Office milk is going on the list of things I never knew I didn't want. Do you work in a cookie factory? Why so much milk? I find it interesting that milk is such a high-need office staple where you live. For tea, I guess. Years ago, the owner of my company DEC we were losing money. It wasn't from his bad decisions or giving away thousands in equipment to buy customers. It was because we didn't turn off our lights when we left our offices to go to lunch. But why does your company need milk? Another entry in the No Good Deed Goes Unpunished book. Just curious, did anyone comment when the milk was no longer magically waiting every day for them? You were absolutely right, BTW. It's extraordinary how someone will extinguish a bit of goodwill, without apparently seeing what they are doing. This could cross over to our anti-work. Never work for free. They looked a gift horse in the mouth and got bit. Their loss. Well done you. I salute you. Love it. This is hilarious. Rolling on the floor laughing. Right. By trying to save 5 cents they lost more in the end. Genius. Some people just never know to appreciate. Why didn't you just use paper bags? My office doesn't even provide cups or guest mugs. Must be embarrassing when taking an external person around. Oh, did you bring your cup? Why is milk so important someone would leave in the middle of the day to get more? In the history of Earth. Have bean counters ever made anything better for anyone? Wait. Were you expensing it separately or were you adding it to the milk? I'd be annoyed if I had a 5p plastic bag expense as well as the milk. I'd just say to give me the sum of both prices. Did they ever figure out what they did wrong? Marry me. About the milk, regardless of receipts, you need to be paid. You own the milk, and are selling it to the shop. The fact that you are being kind enough to do it at cost price is very nice. But the very fucking second they suggest not paying you, the milk gets grabbed back, and the price is now $10 a bottle. If no payment is forthcoming, it gets tipped down the sink. Why the people in management don't use their 2 cells brain. I've worked in the UK before so I understand the pain of running out of milk. Luckily we usually had cans of condensed milk as backup so tragedy was usually averted. Your company provides milk for the whole office. That is a substance containing actual nutrients and caloric content. I'm surprised that the starving interns don't just guzzle it down when no one's looking. How much milk are they drinking where you work? Real question is why does your office need milk? Petty is shoehorning little things like making a law forcing a store to charge a few cents for a bag, and blaming customers for being wasteful with disposable bags, when it's the stores who pushed that habit, and would look at you like you might be stealing if you weren't walking out with the merchandise in their bag. Not too malicious. Maybe inconvenient. But life must suck for them. Source please. Is there petty malicious compliance? This is just petty and small, but congrats on getting your time back. The company won if they now don't have to reimburse for milk. The company's request seemed reasonable but should have been accompanied by a reusable shopping bag for you to use. What the heck do you need milk for?